Hello, my beautiful blossoms, blooms, and buds, and welcome to another of our Holiday Fanfic Specials. This one is called When the World is But a Stage for the Two of Us by MandMandM. Yes. Who was gracious enough to let me record their work. And I am very excited for this one because it's pretty funny. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So this one is a fanfic from the Modao Zushi fandom. Um, Neither of us own anything in the Modao Zushi fandom, but this fan work does belong to MandMandM. So I'm not making any money off it. I'm not making anything. I'm just doing it for the fun of it, and because they were gracious enough to let me. So thank you again, MandMandM. I love your work. Let's go ahead and get into it. The world is but a stage for the two of us by MandMandM. Summary. Nope. Jiang Cheng. Oh, I should probably move the microphone closer. Let's start that over. The world is but a stage for the two of us by MandMandM. Summary. Nope. Jiang Cheng will never believe the rumors regarding his shixiong and Second Young Master Lan. That is, until he overhears the unmistakable voice of Wei freaking Wuxian and Lan Wangji doing God knows what near the waterfalls of Gusu, or post-canon Wuxian wangxian. Time travel in all their shameless glory, and everyone suffers from the PDA. So, there's a little author's note, and it says, "Yo, this is a fun little thing I started last April. Decided to post this instead of letting it rot in my folder, and we are very glad that you did." All right. Chapter 1. Lan Feng, a poor disciple. Lan Feng thinks it's a bit unfair that he's one of the junior disciples on duty tonight. Usually, the seniors only employ 3 or 4, but tonight is special, because tonight, disciples from various sects have arrived for the year-long lecture. So, Lan Feng is on duty even though his next shift should be a week from now. It's just his lucky star to be chosen. But then, there's one disciple who volunteered for tonight's shift. And the whole cultivation world will be shaken if they found out who it was. Who it is. If people ask Lan Feng what he has seen, nobody will believe him. His mouth falls open as he sees Lan Wangji, famed for being cold and untouchable, vault over the veranda of the observation tower and land on the roof. There, the mysterious figure, a young man in purple robes, a disciple of the Jiang sect, visibly perks up, raising both arms as if inviting Lan Wangji in for a hug. For a hug. Gulping, Lan Feng watches the next scene, riveted. Now, he doesn't claim to know the second young master as well as his immediate family, despite being in the same generation as him. But he swears, Lan Feng's never seen Lan Wangji look as happy as he does. Before he knows it, Lan Wangji strides towards the mysterious man, and Lan Feng swears he's not seeing things, accepts the hug. To his horror, Lan Wangji cups the face of the mysterious man and leans forward. Their silhouette looks so romantic and sweet. If only Lan Feng didn't know one of them belongs to the immaculate second young master. Lan Feng rubs his eyes as if doing so will get rid of the images in front of him. He's absolutely sure he's not on patrol for this. Plausible deniability, yes, that's the only thing that'll save Lan Feng's sanity. He absolutely refuses to acknowledge seeing the second young master and his mysterious boo fly down from the rooftops as if they are descending angels. He absolutely does not see the mysterious boo, indeed wearing the Jiang sect signature purple robes, grab the second young master's hand and run with him, as if running isn't one of the sacred rules of the cloud recesses. And lastly, he absolutely does not follow them to witness the second young master and his boo enter the Jingxi with murmured words and soft laughter. I'm sure he doesn't. Oh, by the way, if you want to find this fic, it is in the description. So go check them out and check out the author as well. Give them a kudos, favorite bookmark. Their stuff's really good. So, Chapter 2, Lan Shixiong, a supportive brother. Oh, thank you everyone who left kudos and commented and bookmarked and subscribed. You are all amazing. Here, have some funny bro LXC. When Lan Shixiong first notices that Wangji is different, it is during the morning meal. The Cloud Recesses has a tradition of coming together to the banquet room for meals, whether one is a resident or a guest. The room in its entirety takes up 1/4 of their land and is separated by at least 20 sliding doors. Usually, for the Lan clan, only 5 doors are open to accommodate everyone. But every time the year-long lecture is held, more sliding doors are opened. The constant in both scenarios is the main Lan family table, placed at the forefront and served first. For more than a decade, the main Lan family members sitting there are Lan Kairen, Lan Shixiong, and Lan Wangji. That is why, this morning, Lan Shixiong is seated, waiting for the meal to be served, with Lan Kairen seated at the head of the table. Lan Wangji is missing from his designated seat on their uncle's left. Lan Shixiong is not worried until the food is served and Wangji is nowhere to be seen. Uncle, who started to become agitated when Wangji hadn't arrived at his usual time, is now fuming. He turns to Lan Shixiong. Shixiong, where is your brother? Lan Shixiong has started to scan the tables where the Lan clan is seated, but finds no sign of Wangji. I don't know, Lan Shixiong admits. Perhaps he is not feeling well today? Lan Kairen scoffs. It's impossible for Wangji to not have breakfast, even if he is sick. Just where is that child? Shixiong doesn't know either, but he will find out later. He promises so to his uncle. The servants are done setting food on the table, and both uncle and nephew focus on their breakfast. Whew. Just as he scoops a portion of his kanji, Shixiong notices a Lan disciple mumbling instead of eating. As someone with a high level of cultivation, he can perfectly hear him from this distance. No, Lan Fang, stop thinking about it. The second young master is definitely not the person you saw. He definitely did not come to breakfast with his boo. And you definitely did not see them sneaking around. Why is the second young master's boo so good at sneaking around? And if I didn't see them last night, if I didn't see them last night, I wouldn't be like this. Urgh, plausible deniability. Lan Shixiong drops his spoon. Lan Shixiong trusts his brother always, so he won't allow rumors to reform his opinion of Wangji. Once the gong sounds signaling the end of breakfast, everyone stands up to leave. Because of the number of people, it is difficult for Lan Wangji in the crowd. So he decides to head to the Jingxi to wait. He decides to admire the gentians Wangji has planted in the back while he waits. Soon, he hears footsteps and chatter nearing the Jingxi. Shixiong pauses. Chatter? Wangji is talking to someone. His eyes widen. His brother is talking to someone who's not him or uncle. He crouches behind a tall bush and covertly observes, an act truly unbefitting for a senior cultivator like Lan Shixiong. But this is more important than his image. Wangji is making friends! Wangji and his friend finally come into view, walking up the pathway to the door. Of all the people he expects his brother to befriend, the senior disciple of human Jiang, Wuxian, is certainly not the first to come to mind. If the rumors are true, by personality alone, he and Wangji should have gotten along like fire and ice. But perhaps the rumors aren't true. Xichen's eyes zero in on Wangji's hand. The hand now held lightly in Wei Wuxian's other hand. As if to confound him further, the clasped hands start swaying between them. Xichen stares at Wangji, then at Wei Wuxian, then back at his brother. There's a voice in his mind suggesting something less platonic than friendship. But no, maybe Wangji is adjusting his boundaries. Xichen tries to convince himself. I don't get why we have to sneak around. Wangji reaches out and tucks a hair behind Wei Wuxian's ear. By now, Xichen can't stop gaping. I told you, now is not the right time. Just imagine everyone's faces if he went up to the main family table holding hands. Your uncle would have a heart attack. Wei Ying, Wangji admonishes, but it is obvious that he's not truly mad. And it seems Wei Wuxian can tell. And it seems Wei Wuxian can tell, as he only gives an answering grin and continues swinging his hands. Lan Xichen is both shocked and impressed. Impressed because he has never known anyone who can read his brother as well as him. Not even uncle comes close. Shocked because Wangji called someone by their given name. Hey, Lanzan! Out of the blue, Wei Wuxian leans in and briefly kisses Wangji on the lips. Lan Xichen holds up a hand to his mouth to stop a gasp. His mind is currently in shambles, and all he can do is stare at the scene in front of him. A blush appears on Wangji's ears. Wei Ying, someone might see. Wei Wuxian giggles. Then why don't we go to where others won't see us? Before Wangji can react, the door to the Jingxi slides open as Wei Wuxian pulls his brother into the room. Once they're inside, the door shuts ominously. Lan Xichen stares at the closed door, hand still on his mouth and feeling his worldview start to tilt. His brother Wangji and young Master Wei are together? Not that he is not happy for Wangji, but he completely did not see it coming. Just when did they first meet? Is this the start of Wangji's romance? Xichen realizes as he walks back to his room in a daze, but not before tripping 3 times. The Lan disciples notice and stare with wide eyes. Chapter 3, Nai Huai Song, a chaotic shipper. So the author says, all I can say is thank you, everyone. Thank you for continuing it. Nai Huai Song expects the 1-year study program to be boring, as anything related to the Lan sect tends to be, until he hears the rumor. Now, Huai Song may be weak and not so fortunate in height, but he's considered friendly among his peers. Thanks to his friends, his eyes and ears everywhere. It's only been 12 hours since he arrived in the cloud recesses, but he's already heard of this juicy gossip. After verifying with the sole witness, a jittery lone disciple, Huai Song is convinced the rumor is a fact. He needs to talk to someone about this pronto. Preferably someone in purple robes. For the 100th time, he reels. Really? Lan Wangji? Close with a Jiang disciple? Did they get the correct Lan? Before, Huai Song would expect the world to end first before believing such a thing could happen. But now, Just who can that Jiang disciple be? He's familiar the most with Wuxian, but since yesterday, Huaisong hasn't seen neither hide nor hair of him. Even earlier during breakfast, he was missing. When he asked an angry-looking Jiang Wanyin, he almost lost his life just mentioning Wei Wuxian's name. Well, apparently, Wei Xiang had been missing since last night, which makes him a possible candidate. Now, with a rescued sparrow in tow, he's on his way to the lecture hall where Wei Wuxian will be. Huaisong resolves he'll write a confession out of him. He'll wring a confession out of him. Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji. Who would have thought? It is while he ponders that question that rain suddenly descends. Huaisong groans out loud because he's still a couple buildings away from the lecture hall. Using his free hand as an umbrella, he dashes to the nearest building for shelter, bird still clutched in his grip. He enters and realizes he's in the Lan's armory. After finding a flat surface, he places the bird and starts straightening his clothes. It's pouring now. I can't believe this. It's so sunny, but it's raining. What a bad omen. He looks at the hopping sparrow. Don't you think it so, Chickie? Chickie the sparrow chirped. Huaisong nodded. Glad you agree with me. While holding Chickie, he decides to explore the armory as he waits for the rain to stop. Sorry. He sees the saber collection and grows over there. If Dagua sees this, he'll go crazy, right? He held up the sparrow, who chirped again. Turning back to the sabers, he reaches over to inspect one. Just then, there's a rustling against the door. Thinking how people might get the wrong idea if he's seen interested in the saber, Huaisong's heart leaps into his throat and he scrambles to duck behind a shelf, perfectly shielding him from the new arrivals. As whoever just came in closes the door behind them, Huaisong stares at Chickie and lifts a finger against his lips, hoping the sparrow cooperates. Luckily, Chickie only tilts her head, probably wondering why Huaisong is doing something stupid. He wonders why himself. But when he hears a voice, he knows why. That's surprising. I don't remember it raining the first time I was here, comes the amused voice of Wei Wuxian. It's Wuxian, he mouths to Chickie, before craning his neck to the side, trying to take a peek. And what does he mean by first time? Did Wuxian already visit the cloud recesses and rendezvous with Lan Wangji before? Maybe Huaisong could interrogate him now. Dry your hair properly, Wei Ying. Huaisong freezes. A laugh. You do it for me then, Lanzan. Like he's struck by lightning, Huaisong rears back quickly. He lifts Chickie until she's at eye level and tries to convey his disbelief with his eyes. That's Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji, all right. And what's with the casual use of their given names? Remembering the rumor about the hug and kiss, he almost gasps. It's time to confirm. Inching slowly to the side, Huaisong spies on the young couple with the focus of a hawk locked on its prey. They're standing facing each other, their side profile and every interaction visible to Huaisong. Lan Wangji is patting Wei Wuxian's forehead with a white cloth he got from who knows where. Wei Wuxian is beaming at Lan Wangji as he does the same with only his palm. Meanwhile, Huaisong can't believe he gets to be the second witness. Suddenly, Wei Wuxian drops his hands, pulling Lan Wangji's hands away from his face as well. We can't do this anymore, Lanzan. We promise to be subtle from now on. When in public. We are in public right now. Technically. We're in the armory, which is a public place. Anyone can walk in on us. Wuxian gestures around to prove his point. I am so sorry. I wasn't tired before I started reading this. Wei Ying, stop moving. Lan Wangji keeps Wei Wuxian still with one hand on his shoulder as he continues cradling, Wei Wuxian's face. The love-struck look on Wei Xiang's face is too obvious. My gods, am I looking at a budding young couple or a pair of newlyweds? Huai Song thinks incredulously. After a while, Lan Wangji sighs and takes a step back. Wei Ying is right. I shouldn't keep teasing. Wei Wuxian looks like he's about to laugh when suddenly there's a tweet tweet. Swiftly pulling back, Huai Song's eyes widen as he glances down at Chicky, who's looking at him smugly. You're supposed to be on my side. What's that? Is there someone else here? Wei Ying. I know. Footsteps approach Huai Song's hiding place, and the feathered culprit in question sits innocently on his palm. What is this bad luck? He got here first because of the downpour. He's hiding because he wants to see the truth for himself. Dagua, save him. Tweet, tweet. Lifting his hands, Huai Song glares at the menace of his life, but Chicky is hopping around in denial. Huh? There is more chirping, but the sound is coming from the opposite direction of where Huai Song and Chicky are. He hears Wei Wuxian coo. Poor bird. He must be looking for cover too. He looks so small and cute. And fat. Wei Ying, don't eat him. I won't eat him. Lan-san, I'm hurt. Why would you think that? Stop teasing. The rain stopped. Let us head to class. Fine. The sound of the door opening, footsteps, door closing, then nothing. Huai Song slowly stands up until his eyes are over the shelf, glancing left and right. The coast is clear. He meets the beady eyes of Chicky. That's strike one. When Huai Song arrives at the lecture hall, class is about to start, and almost everyone is there. Good thing he made sure it was on time, or else his brother would kill him. Lan Wangji and Wei Wuxian already made it back, seated in their assigned seats. Class starts, and as expected, it is boring. Something must have transpired while he was gone, because Lan Kairin is looking distastefully at Wei Wuxian as he drones on from his perch at the forefront. Huai Song wonders why, but honestly, he's more interested to see the lovebirds seated so far apart. Lan Wangji is in his respective seat in front, while Wei Wuxian is on his right, 4 seats behind. At least they can finally be subtle. But when Huai Song sits down right beside Wei Wuxian, he realizes how utterly wrong he is. While Lan Wangji had no choice but to focus his attention on the Grandmaster, the same does not apply to Huai Song's seatmate. Wei Wuxian keeps looking in Lan Wangji's direction and sighing deeply. Even when Huai Song distracts him with Chicky, sharing exciting whispers with him, his eyes remain and immediately slide back to Lan Wangji's back. Huai Song stares so hard at Wei Wuxian he almost burns a hole through him, but the besotted man ignores him. Wei Xiang, we are in the middle of class and you're thinking of wangxian as if you don't see him all morning. Lan Kyra notices, like the nosy old man he is, and asks a question about a ghost, demon, whatever, calling on Wei Wuxian to answer. As expected of Wei Xiang, he answers Lan Kyran's barrage of questions perfectly. When asked about a situation with an executioner who dies, Wei Wuxian suddenly goes silent. And it's only because Nai Huaisong is looking closely at him and Lan Wangji that he notices Wangxian's shoulders go rigid. Huh. Well, you don't know the answer? Lan Kyran asks. Wei Wuxian hums before breaking into a bright grin. I don't know. Can I ask Second Young Master Lan to help me? He asks in a sweet voice. Excuse me, Wei Xiang. Where's the subtlety? These two may as well announce to the whole cultivation world they're married with how affectionate they are. Silence fills the hall. Huaisong can feel the realization dawn on each and every disciple who heard the rumor. Huaisong doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Whatever doubt he has vanished after all the things he witnessed today, and it's only noon. He can't wait to see what they'll do next. This will be fun. Whew. Hang on, I have to reset the internet. Sorry about that. It seems like the internet should be good now. Okay. So chapter 4, Jiang Cheng, a tsundere shidi. So the summary for this chapter is most anticipated Jiang Cheng point of view. The author notes hi, sorry writing took so long because I wasn't in the mood to write crack. Then school started and took up all my time, but I do read everyone's comments and sometimes take a peek in the bookmark tags. They all made my month! Thank you for your continued support. To make up for the long wait, I made the chapter longer than usual for you guys. I don't know. Can I ask Second Young Master Lan to help me? Jiang Cheng's neck almost breaks with how fast he turns around in his seat to glare at Wei Wuxian. His head is already aching from the idiot's disappearing act. He had snapped at anyone who came talking with him about that stupid rumor he already knows better than to believe. Then today, turning up at the last minute, Wei Wuxian sat behind him as the sect head's disciple, as if he didn't just spend the night outside his assigned quarters. If it weren't for the audience around them, Jiang Cheng would have strangled him already. Get this. Jiang Cheng comes to the cloud recesses. He is responsible for representing the Yumeng Jiang sect. He promises mother to study and behave. All bets are off when Wei Wuxian gets into trouble. Jiang Cheng just wants his task to be done in peace and quiet. He should have seen it coming when Wei Wuxian dragged his feet and whined all the way to Gusu. Should have known something was up when Wei Wuxian suddenly paled and froze once they entered the cloud recesses. He should have suspected something like this when his martial brothers told him Wei Wuxian excused himself to his room at 9 last night under the pretense of sleep. And now he's pulling something like this? Wei Wuxian seems to finally sense his gaze because he glances at Jiang Cheng, fucking finally, you noticed me, only to freeze in shock as if he had seen a ghost. Jiang Cheng raises his brow as if to say, what? Scared? Though inside he is taken aback because nothing phases Wei Wuxian. Wei Wuxian blinks and gives an uncharacteristic, wobbly smile, looking at Jiang Cheng like he is a long-lost son who finally returns home. What the fuck? Jiang Cheng stares in bemusement. The sound of Lan Kyran's hand slamming on the table brings their attention back in front. It was just me being impertinent, Lan Wangji says, or Wei Wuxian says in his usual playful tone. And even though Jiang Cheng can no longer see his face, he can tell it is another fake attempt. Forgive me, Master Lan. ... The whole room is filled with stunned silence again. Wei Wuxian, the notorious troublemaker, apologized. Lan Kairin also does not expect the easy apology. He stares suspiciously at Wei Wuxian before saying, Humph, if you do not know the answer, then stop saying nonsense. Be seated. Wangji, the answer. When Lan Kairin's attention shifts to another student, Jiang Cheng resists the urge to turn around until the gong echoes in the Great Hall, signaling the end of the lecture. Which is a fatal mistake, because when he turns around, Wei Wuxian is gone. Jiang Cheng faces Nai Huaisong with a scowl. Where's Wei Wuxian? Huaisong looks up from, is that a bird? No, he shouldn't be getting distracted by Huaisong, and gives a mysterious smile like he has resolved all the cultivation problems he incurred for the last 15 years. Jiang Xiang, can't you figure it out? Or maybe Huaisong just lost his mind. Very likely, considering the 4-hour lecture they had to sit through. Oh, that's rough. What? He can't keep the confusion out of his voice. Huaisong just sighs, looking at Jiang Cheng pityingly, like he's the weird one in this conversation. He and Lan Wangji went somewhere together. Lan Wangji? Why would he be with Lan Wangji? Jiang Cheng asked with raised eyebrows. This time, Nai Huaisong rolls his eyes at him. I know someone like you is hopeless when it comes to these matters, but not to this extent. Jiang Xiang. Huaisong snaps his fan open and waves it to his scowling face. Don't you see what just transpired in class? Ah, forget it. It's better if you see it yourself. Go on and find Wei Xiang. Jiang Cheng couldn't help but say, why did I even ask you? Before he dashes out of the hall in search of one missing Wei Wuxian. Jiang Cheng's been searching for hours. The sun begs to differ, since it still shines brightly overhead. Perhaps that's what it just felt like, because Jiang Cheng can't see the idiot anywhere. He's walking along the forest near the waterfalls when he finally hears them. Then he freezes. Wei Xiang is moaning. Wei Wuxian is moaning. Jiang Cheng suddenly feels worried about Wei Wuxian, something he will deny until his last breath. He's about to come out from behind a humongous rock formation when he hears an unfamiliar, cool voice. Wei Wuxian's moans get louder. He doesn't sound like he's in pain. And Jiang Cheng has a gut feeling he should not come out if he values his sanity. Wei Wuxian whines, Lan-san, where did you learn to do this? From a book. A book? Oh, that feels so nice. There. At these words, Jiang Cheng can feel the blood rush to his ears, and he finally gets it. No way. Jiang Cheng desperately wants Zidian to strike him down at this moment and end him. Wei Ying, does it hurt? No, it feels nice. It feels so good. His words end with another loud moan. I'm not moaning. Okay, Jiang Cheng is out of here. If only he stayed longer, he would have heard Wei Wuxian say, This is the best massage I ever had in my whole life. And I've lived twice before this one. Wei Ying. Jiang Cheng stares into the distance as his mind analyzes everything that transpired. Wei Wuxian's reactions when he sees him, his disappearance, Huaisong's cryptic words. Oh, Jiang Cheng says out loud. Then he looks to the direction of the waterfalls where Wuxian and Lan Wangji are doing unspeakable things. You idiot. When he sees him, Jiang Cheng will tell that stupid idiot. Now he just needs to stop that idiot from running away. It is a beautiful night. Jiang Cheng doesn't expect to spend his second night at the cloud recesses, hiding high above the tree branches and waiting impatiently for Wei Wuxian. If only Huaisang could hurry up and get Wei Wuxian here right now. Soon, footsteps near his hiding place and Wei Wuxian and Nai Huaisang emerge from the direction of the dorms. They are on their way to dinner, Huaisang lying to Wei Wuxian about Jiang Cheng being too busy with homework to grab something to eat. Like hell, Jiang Cheng would let his food be spoiled by a disappearing Wei Wuxian, but he needs to have this talk right now. Finally, Huaisang makes some excuse about forgetting his fan and leaves. Wei Wuxian is all alone. Jiang Cheng jumps down from the tree and barely avoids a sword to his face. His wide eyes meet Wei Wuxian's equally shocked ones. Jiang Cheng? Wei Wuxian asks uncertainly. Finally decided to talk to me, Jiang Cheng says coldly. Wei Wuxian tenses and Jiang Cheng decides to cut to the chase. I know why you're like this. Wei Wuxian's eyes almost bulge out of their sockets. You do? He scoffs. Of course. Not an idiot like you. Wei Wuxian looks troubled and Jiang Cheng hates it. Then it might seem impossible at first, but it can happen, Jiang Cheng says seriously. Wei Wuxian snaps his mouth shut, lips thinning. You know Yes, I know you're in a relationship with Lan Wangji, all right? Jiang Cheng snaps at the same time. He just can't bear to see that defeated look in Wei Wuxian's face. For a moment, the only sound comes from the cicadas. Jiang Cheng keeps his grave look while Wei Wuxian blinks, then goes through shock, bewilderment, and finally, disbelief. There's Chicky again. Jiang Cheng tisks. Is this idiot doubting him? Look, I don't care if you dally with a man or a woman. Just stop doing it in public, idiot. One moment. I am sorry. Bye-bye, Chicky. Jiang Cheng's face flames as he remembers what he heard that afternoon. I can't believe someone like Lan Wangji would ever want to be with you. Wuxian's mouth drops open, and for a moment, Jiang Cheng worries, again in denial, that he says something wrong, till the idiot starts cackling. Jiang Cheng is unimpressed in the face of Wei Wuxian's laughter. Isn't he supposed to be grateful for Jiang Cheng's support? Jiang Cheng! Wei Wuxian calls out merrily, like he always does, and slings an arm around him. Jiang Cheng shrugs him away, grumbling, and finally feels a little embarrassed by what he's done. I had enough! Get lost! See if I care next time, Jiang Cheng seethes, but his burning face reveals him. He stomps his way to the dining hall, Wei Wuxian chortling behind him. Jiang Cheng sits down heavily, ignoring the way their martial brothers relax when they catch sight of him and Wei Wuxian together. Wei Wuxian sits beside him and engages in a loud, joyous conversation with the others. Huaisang even goes over and joins them. Looks like everything's back to normal. Finally, dinner starts and Jiang Cheng, completely over with today's dramatics, is starving. The food arrives and Jiang Cheng blanches at the blandness of the spread. Brown rice, stir-fried vegetables, and bitter vegetable soup that tastes like medicinal soup. What is he, a rabbit? Wei Wuxian feels the same, obviously, only picking at his food and looking sullen. Now things are fine between them. Jiang Cheng can freely roll his eyes at him. Just then, a servant appears and serves a covered plate to Wei Wuxian. What's this? Wei Wuxian asks, confused. Second Young Master Lan asked this one to serve this to Young Master Wei. Wei Wuxian becomes ecstatic and excitedly takes the profited plate. He opens the lid with a grin and finds dumplings. Jiang Cheng gapes. He feels his mouth water. They're vegetable dumplings, the server explains. Wei Wuxian has a sappy smile on his face. Jiang Cheng has an urge to strangle him. Thanks! Tell Lan Zan I said thank you. Jiang Cheng bristles, offended at the injustice of it all. The server blinks and stutters an affirmative before leaving. Wei Wuxian! Unfortunately, Wei Wuxian isn't paying him any attention. His neck cranes left and right, trying to look past the head of his fellow cultivators, clearly searching for something. Jiang Cheng wants to hit him in the back of his head and shout what the hell is wrong with him, and can he maybe share his dumplings with him? Wei Wuxian visibly perks up when he finds what he's looking for. Jiang Cheng traces his gaze and is unamused to find Wei Wuxian making sappy eyes at Lan Wangji. Wei Wuxian giggles and gives a little wave. Jiang Cheng assumes Wei Wuxian is seeking his early death and raises a hand to really hit him on his head. His eyes worriedly go to Lan Wangji, afraid that the immaculate second Master Lan would be angry at Wei Wuxian's public display. What Jiang Cheng sees makes him pause. Far and wide, the cultivation world has described Lan Wangji as an ice-cold beauty, the peerless jade that never cracks. No one can find faults in him, and no one dares get close to him out of fear. In short, Lan Wangji is talented, good-looking, and antisocial. No one has ever seen or made him smile. So what the heck is Jiang Cheng looking at now? Sitting prim behind the table, an almost imperceptible smile graces Lan Wangji's face. He hears Wei Wuxian coo. His smile is just like snow melting during spring. The two are tables apart, but they keep on staring at one another as if they're the only ones in the room. Jiang Cheng glumly mutters, Really? Right in front of my bland vegetables? So the notes for this chapter are wangxian, PDA, Jiang Cheng, Really? Right in front of my salad? Thank you, memes, for the inspiration. Chapter 5, Lan Kairin, a boomer. The notes for this chapter are, I live! Thank you so much for all the kudos, comments, bookmarks, and everyone reading. I appreciate each and every one. Everyone's grumpy grandpa is up, lol. Lan Kairin's priorities in life consist of only two things, the Lan sect and his nephews. The Gusu Lan sect must meet all expectations while maintaining its integrity and principles. As the figurehead and acting sect leader, he has a lot of responsibilities on that front. As the only living blood-related uncle of Lan Shixiong and Lan Wangji, he has to make sure they are safe and equipped with all the necessary skills and knowledge in order to be an upstanding cultivator and capable of inheriting the title of sect leader. Perhaps chief cultivator in the distant future. Unfortunately, Lan Kairin's balancing with his two priorities shatter in the most unexpected ways. Therefore, it is in the best interest of Lan Kairin's two priorities that the lectures with the visiting disciples go over smoothly. The students will learn. Lan Wangji and Lan Shixiong will set an example for everyone. The cultivation world will be at peace. Little does he know, his wishful thinking will never come true. Several weeks into the lecture, Lan Kairin concludes that Lan Wangji is acting odd. Odd is a word he never imagined to describe Lan Wangji, but there's no other way to explain his behavior. If he remembers correctly, the first time Lan Wangji started acting odd happened during breakfast on the first day of the disciple study retreat thing. Lan Wangji never arrived and dined with him and Lan Shixiong. Lan Wangji is notable for his strictness and discipline, the way he holds himself and everyone around him to the highest standards. Later on, he found Lan Wangji waiting for him by the door of his study room, offering him a 5-inch scroll of punishment sutras impeccably written in Lan Wangji's handwriting. Head bowed, he apologized for not being able to attend breakfast with them. Lan Kairin cannot fathom why his nephew would ever do something so irresponsible. When he asked him where he dined for breakfast, Wangji hesitated before saying he ate with one of the visiting disciples. At that, Lan Kairin's brows almost reached his hairline. A warm feeling suddenly spread throughout his heart. Lan Wangji, his perfect, disciplined nephew, is finally learning how to socialize. While Lan Kairin was happy with this development, he still reprimanded Lan Wangji. Mealtimes are for the family. He cannot tolerate rule breaking from Lan Wangji's actions. His nephew understands. That's not all, Lan Kairin observes. As they say, children mature in the blink of an eye. Lan Wangji is a perfect example. He had the air of a stubborn teenager before, but now he holds himself with a certain confidence and poise. As he oversees the classes once again, Lan Wangji seems like a different person, or rather like an improved version of himself. His understanding of the lessons deepen, his swordsmanship becomes sharper and faster. His eyes, already serious-looking most of the time, appear mature and knowing. Unbelievably, he even helped Lan Kairin with a sect matter. When he called Lan Wangji over to have tea with him, they were interrupted by an urgent matter from the Ouyang sect. Lan Kairin had no patience for it, having been pestered for a long while by the sect leader already, when even he ran out of ideas. Lan Wangji was quietly observing the agitated conversation when he spoke up and politely offered the perfect solution to the problem. Lan Kairin and the messenger stared at Lan Wangji. All Lan Kairin could think of at the time was, why didn't I think of that? And how did Wangji come up with that? Overall, Lan Kairin is quite satisfied with Wangji's adolescence. He thinks Lan Wangji has even surpassed Lan Shixiong. Until one day. While taking care of business in Kaiyi town, Lan Kairin catches sight of Lan Wangji. He thinks his eyes are playing tricks on him. Lan Wangji has never stepped foot in Kaiyi town outside of missions. With the stealth of a seasoned cultivator, he follows Lan Wangji until he ends up in front of a music store, watching Lan Wangji survey the array of shao and dizzy. At first, Lan Kairin thinks his nephew is purchasing a shao for Lan Shixiong. Apparently not. Lan Kairin makes a confused noise as Lan Wangji bought a dizzy. Is Wangji going to start playing the dizzy? Isn't he studying the Guqian? When he asks Shixiong about it, Shixiong is equally confused. Wangji has been diligent in his Guqian studies, uncle. Then why did he purchase a dizzy? I don't know. How curious. But if Lan Wangji wants to further his musical cultivation studies, Lan Kairin has no problem with that. He puts the matter to rest until the next instance when he goes down the mountain and he sees Wangji in a liquor store. A liquor store. Buying Emperor's Smile. Lan Kairin almost has a heart attack. He is about to confront Wangji, but his companion, a dignitary from the Jin sect, demands his attention, so he cannot follow after Wangji this time. Unbeknownst to him, Lan Wangji heads back to the cloud recesses and gifts the alcohol to his beloved. Due to the emergency intersect matter forcing him to leave Gusu, Lan Kairin never manages to confront Wangji about the Emperor's Smile matter. It also leaves his mind until he receives a report from Lan Shichen about the impeccable performance of the visiting disciples this year. Lan Kairin had returned to the cloud recesses and met with Shichen to receive updates on the disciples' studies and progress. Then Shichen mentions that the Biling Lake issue was resolved. Lan Kairin had been complacent. Nothing could ever go wrong after putting Lan Shichen in charge while he was away from Gusu. Thus, when he receives the latest night hunt report, he almost spits out his tea. The waterborne abyss has been exorcised? Lan Kairin's incredulous tones does not cover the shock he is feeling. That's impossible! It is now, Uncle, Lan Shichen says with a pleased smile, and the full credit for such a feat goes to Wangji and young Master Wei. Wangji? Wei Wuxian? Lan Kairin feels like his eyes have popped out of his head with how wide they are. Yes, Uncle, Lan Shichen keeps smiling like he's thoroughly enjoying Lan Kairin's reaction. Coughing in his sleeve, Lan Kairin skims the report, mind blanking at the detailed description of Lan Wangji and Wei Wuxian's collaborative efforts, and resolves to find out the heart of the matter. Just what is that troublemaker doing with his nephew? Suddenly, he remembers Lan Wangji's visits to Kaiyi town, including the questionable, dizzy, and forbidden liquor purchases. Then he remembers Wangji telling him months before about having breakfast with the fellow disciple. Wangji is consorting with Wei Wuxian? Lan Shichen is blushing and clearing his throat. Uncle, that wording is a bit... But Lan Kairin does not notice his odd reaction and shouts, Bring Wangji to me now! Uncle, calm down. A moment later, Lan Wangji is called in his uncle's visiting room, frowns bemusedly when he sees Lan Kairin seething with Lan Shichen placating him. Uncle, brother, he greets. Lan Kairin points a finger at his nephew. You! What are you doing? I don't understand. Wei Wuxian! You are consorting with Wei Wuxian! I cannot allow this to happen. Stop hanging around with him. Suddenly, Lan Wangji gets a steely look in his eyes. Never has Lan Kairin seen Lan Wangji looking like he's about to wage war with the world. Lan Kairin is taken aback. Isn't this a simple matter? I'm afraid I can't do that, Uncle. Lan Wangji says firmly, tone brooking no argument. Lan Kairin's mouth drops open in shock. This is the first time Wangji has ever openly defied him. Talking back to your elders, I see Wei Wuxian has already imparted his bad influence on you. That Emperor's Smile. Drinking is forbidden by our sect. Technically, it's forbidden in the sect, not by the sect, but I'm just... Lan Wangji blinks. It doesn't show in his face, but Lan Kairin can tell he is confused. I never drink alcohol. Then what were you doing in the liquor store? Don't try to get away from this. I saw you enter it a while back. Wangji looks down at admission of guilt. I did enter the liquor store, but I did not drink alcohol, he explains. What did you do there, Wangji? Lan Shichen interjects. His question is more curious than angry. I bought a jar of Emperor's Smile. You bought a jar but didn't drink it? What did you do with it? Lan Shichen probes gently. ... You! Lan Kairin starts, clutching his nape in anger as his blood pressure increases. You gave it to Wei Wuxian, didn't you? See? What did I ever do to lead you astray like this? I'm not led astray, uncle. No! From now on, you cannot befriend Wuxian. Uncle! Both Lan Wangji and Lan Shixiong object, with the former looking pained and stubborn, and the latter shocked and uncertain. He averts his gaze. No more reasoning, Lan Kairen orders. Lan Wangji's jaw is set stubbornly. I understand and appreciate your concern, uncle. However, I cannot do as you wish. His nephew, his righteous and obedient nephew, stands up and leaves. And Kairen cannot take this behavior. Wangji! Uncle, please, Wangji is upset. I don't think it is wise to talk to him right now. And Shixiong placates, hands raised in front of him. Him upset? Then what am I? And Kairen throws himself down in his seat, huffing and clutching his nape. God, what is Wangji thinking? After that event, Lan Kairen returns to supervising the lecture classes, decides to keep a close eye on Lan Wangji and Wuxian. Except there is nothing for him to do. In all the lectures, sword training, and talisman classes, he never sees Wuxian go near Lan Wangji. He thinks they're putting up an appearance and are still meeting in secret, but Lan Wangji has always stayed in the library or in the Jingxi during his free time. He knows this because Lan Shixiong reports it with a distraught expression. Lan Kairen harumphs and wonders if the discomfort in his stomach is because he ate too little. Certainly knowing Wuxian's personality, that brat is up to something. Despite his worst fears, Wuxian disturbingly grows subdued. His usual antics in class are gone. All he does is stare absent-mindedly into space. He's acting like a normal, obedient student. Even his martial brothers from the Jiang sect are giving him wary looks. When Lan Kairen asks him a question, he gives the correct answer, so Lan Kairen can only grumble and continue with the lesson. As for Lan Wangji, his nephew seems to have deflated. The collected maturity he gained has now vanished. Nobody dares approach Lan Wangji with the aura of coldness and desolation emanating from him. Even Lan Kairen finds himself hesitating. I'm back! Sorry. Lan Kairen clutches his middle from the sudden discomfort while he is having tea one afternoon. Did my body find the food disagreeable? Is this guilt? During one class, a visiting disciple makes a mistake with the talisman he is working with. The disciples scramble to put out the cursed fire with water talismans, to no avail. Lan Kairen sighs in disappointment. Were these disciples listening to his lecture at all? He is about to step forward and take care of the matter until Wuxian activates a cleansing talisman, then a water talisman, in quick succession. Everyone is stunned, including Lan Kairen. The disciple who makes a mistake, the younger brother of Naiming Jue, apparently, clutches at Wuxian's robes and wails, Wuxian, thank you so much! You're amazing! The other disciples go forward to offer words of astonishment. Lan Kairen glances at Lan Wangji and double takes at the small, proud smile on his face. Wuxian doesn't see this and just gives the disciples near him a strained smile. Don't worry about it, and goes back to staring off silently into space. Loath is Lan Kairen to admit it, but Wuxian performs spectacularly. What Wuxian performed is the correct remedy against a cursed fire. All of you better remember it. At this, Wuxian snaps out of his reverie and stares at Lan Kairen in surprise. He gives him a smile and continues his work. Lan Kairen pretends not to notice. Maybe this Wuxian wasn't so bad after all. Hey, we're back. Okay, chapter 6. Yi Lian, a protective Yunmang's resident. So the summary is start of the Yunmang arc. Notes. Hello, happy Lunar New Year. I hope you still remember this fic. Blah, blah, blah. Short because we're starting the Yunmang point of views and there's an OC as per tradition. Thank you for all the kudos, comments, and bookmarks. Every comment I read is amazing and I'll try my best to reply. The news about the engagement of one of the twin jades of the Lan clan and the talented first disciple of the Jiang sect spreads throughout the cultivation world. Because of how unbelievable this piece of news is, it has spread even to the ears of ordinary folks. The streets of Yunmang are busy as always, but the buzz in this particular morning is so exciting, so charged that Yi Lian set up his stall an hour early. His neighboring food stalls are engaged in the gossip. The lotus seed seller Yu drops a bag of freshly harvested seeds. What? Marriage with the Gusu sect? Our Jiang clan? Don't they live secluded in the mountains? The watermelon seller Ran cuts in, always wearing those eerie white robes. It's true, the merchant who the two stall owners are gossiping with insists. Having heard enough to get the gist of things, Yi Lian asks, who from the Jiang clan is marrying into the Lan sect clan? Yi Lian dimly remembers that one of the Jiang children is betrothed to someone from a clan he can't remember. He likes minding his own business, so he doesn't really keep up to date with gossip. The first disciple, Wuxian. Oh, Wuxian. Yi Lian nods. Then his eyes comically widen. Wuxian? Out of the disciples in the Jiang sect, Yi Lian is most familiar with Wuxian, that rascal. Who wouldn't be after that kid charmed his way into the hearts of every food stall owner in Yunmang just to get discounts or extra servings each time he buys from them. The kid is a headache, but he has a good heart and strong moral compass. All four corners of Yunmang are in awe of the skill of this talented teenager. But for Yi Lian, it's not his cultivation skills that impressed him. He has grown fond of the kid when he sees Wuxian, arms laden with food he brought, discreetly giving them away to the street children. It's not good practice among cultivators to constantly hand out charity, given their prestige, but Wuxian pays no heed to that and makes it his routine every time he passes by the market. What a foolish and kind-hearted kid. If he made Wuxian sit down and eat dumplings for free after that incident, no one would find out. Anyway, those days chatting with the kid made Yi Lian realize that Wuxian is a man with grand ideals. The kind that wouldn't stop at nothing until the right thing is done. Marriage? Yi Lian doesn't think Wuxian would want that so soon. Who is Wuxian marrying? He asks incredulously. Brother, don't get shocked. The merchant leads in and seems to be enjoying gossiping about this matter. Given the dramatic pauses, it's Lan Wangji, the second young master of the Lan sect. What? Yi Lian is given the second shock of his life. Not because he disapproves of cut sleeves, but because the thought of Wuxian being stuck with a presumably pretentious young master for the rest of his life doesn't sit well with him. Yi Lian is still in a daze when Yu wistfully shares, it seems only yesterday when Wei Gonzi courted that lady. You know, the one with the poems? You mean the maiden with the golden voice, Aran asks. No, the one with the curse. Wait, is there a curse with this one? Wei Gonzi's chased a lot of young ladies. Who knew he'd end up falling for a young master? How beautiful is this Lan Wangji to have captured Wei Gonzi's heart. Yu coos, eyes shining. Aran cackles. Given Wei Gonzi's nature, it's more likely that he chased and courted the second young master Lan. You're right, Ayu laughs with him. Wei Wuxian, you're such a beast. Nonsense. His neighbors stop to look at Yi Lian. Don't they know Wei Wuxian at all? That kid is all mischief, but he's still so innocent. Still so young! You're all wrong. It's not Wei Wuxian, but that Lan kid who's a beast. His mind starts conjuring up terrifying scenarios. What if Wei Wuxian's been forced into marriage, huh? He's the Jiang sect's first disciple. What if this is only for alliance purposes and Wei Wuxian is stuck following orders? He surmises, grim-faced. Or what if that second young Master Lan fell in love with our Wei Wuxian and trapped him in a marriage? Dear gods, Wei Wuxian's been swallowed by an overbearing beast. Silence, then a commotion followed his bold statement. Lotus seeds, watermelon rinds, and dumplings flew through the air. Why are these people not convinced Wei Wuxian is the victim here? It doesn't matter. Until Wei Wuxian arrives and he sees the kid himself, Yi Lian will keep defending the kid's honor. I love it. He's like, are you kidding me? I know he flirts, but kid's simple and innocent as a snow. All right. Chapter 7. Jiang Fengmian, sometimes a sect leader, sometimes a pen pal. There are actually no notes for this one. As the leader of a prestigious sect, Jiang Fengmian is used to dealing with problems, no matter how small or difficult they are. Not only does he have his martial siblings and disciples deferring to him, even the ordinary citizens of Yunmeng hold his words in high regard. However, when news of a certain engagement involving their head disciple reaches the ponds of Yunmeng, Jiang Fengmian finds himself worried, bemused, and troubled. To put it mildly, chaos descends. The morning of that fateful day, Jiang Fengmian has just woken up and is holding a semi-bi-monthly, sometimes monthly, meeting with his martial siblings. It is a quiet morning spent wisely while sipping good, warm tea. Until the doors slam open. Sect leader! Big news from Gusu! A wide-eyed disciple loudly announces. His hand is clutching a crumpled piece of paper resembling a letter. One of his martial brothers slams a hand down on the table. Disciple Shu! Where are your manners? Did you just open a letter meant for the sect leader? Vehemently, Disciple Shu shakes his head. No, Shibu. This disciple didn't. The letter's sealed and safe. It's just that we disciples have an idea what it's about. What did you say? How presumptuous! Jiang Fengmian sighs and rubs his forehead. He decides to step in before things become uglier. Disciple Shu, hand me that letter, please. Disciple Shu quickly goes over and passes him the letter, bowing once, then swiftly escaping. Children these days, no respect! Ayah, stop talking like an old man. You're barely 40. Let me tell you, sometimes getting to almost be barely 40, you feel it. Yeah, and you keep saying that about every disciple, Shidi. It's getting tiring. Well, what did you say? A fight does break out, but Jiang Fengmian is busy straightening out the crumpled letter he received. It is from Wei Wuxian. It has the formal seal of the sect, which is unusual, because Wei Wuxian has never written any formal letters during the entirety of the lectures. The only indication they know the disciples are fine is through Jiang Cheng's letters to Yanli. Apparently, today is an exception. Jiang Fengmian cannot wait to learn why. He opens the letter. Sect leader Jiang and esteemed elders, I would like to inform you that I have just been betrothed to the Second Young Master Lan, Second Young Master of the Lan clan, Lan Wangji. I will explain the full details of our betrothal and relationship when I return to Lotus Pier. Wei Wuxian. He gasps. It successfully distracts his martial siblings from their petty fight. What does it say? They ask. Wide-eyed, Jiang Fingmian turns the letter towards them to show Wei Wuxian's writing and seal. Wuxian says that he's been betrothed to Lan Wangji. All of them gasp. The elders of the sect are divided over the betrothal. Marriage with the snobbish Lan people? I don't think so. Is that really your issue, Shimei? Wuxian got engaged to Lan Wangji. Lan Wangji! Oh, grow up, Shixiong. Cut sleeves exist way before you were born, so you better accept them. I agree with Shimei. Mind your own business, Shixiong. It's not as if we're unaware about your trysts with that cotton merchant. That's not the issue. Excuse you, he doesn't sell cotton, he sells wool. I say we gave Wei Wuxian's betrothal our blessing. Besides, he and Lan Wangji are a good match. Lan Wangji is the second young master, not the heir of his clan. He is not expected to produce heirs. As for Wuxian, he is an orphan, so he's free to do whatever he likes. Your arguments are convincing, but they don't sound nice, Shidi. Eh? Through it all, Yu Ziyuan remains quiet and continues to give a judging eye, her usual look, at the chaos happening in front of her. After a while, she leaves without saying a word. Such a reaction is unprecedented for her, considering the conversation topic is about Wei Wuxian. Jiang Fingmian knows what his wife is thinking and feels a little sympathy for her. Suddenly, another letter arrives from Gusu. Jiang Fingmian straightens up and thinks it must be from Wei Wuxian again. However, he sees the official seal of the Lan sect. It's from the Lan sect. I don't like this. Do you think it's about the engagement? Of course it's about the engagement. Why else would those snobbish Lans ever write to us? Calm down, everyone. Let's not be hasty. I'll read the letter first. With some flair, Jiang Fingmian opens the letter. It's from Qinghang Jun. Whispers arise from all corners of the room. It's the first time I've seen his name in an official document. The Qinghang Jun? The official leader of Gusu who's in seclusion? I heard he never interacts with anyone from the outside world. What does this mean? Jiang Fingmian clears his throat. My martial siblings are so curious, just let me read this out loud then. 4th of July, A.D. Honorary sect leader Jiang Fingmian. Yumeng Jiang sect, Yunmeng city, Zhanghua. Greetings, sect leader Jiang. I write this letter to talk about the engagement of my son, Lan Wangji, with your head disciple, Wei Wuxian. If you have not heard of this news, I am writing now to inform you. If you have, then that is good. I would like to let you know that I give this engagement my wholehearted support. While my brother Lan Kairen and several elders of the clan may disagree with me, as the official sect leader, I give blessing to Wangji to marry whomever he wishes. While I am aware that my son and your head disciple's relationship is unconventional, I choose to support them. If their relationship is disagreeable to you and your sect, I will adopt Wei Wuxian into the Gusu Lan sect upon the celebration of his marriage with Wangji. Just reading the first sentence makes Jiang Fingmian's head woozy. He is more surprised to know that Qinghang Jun allows the engagement than to hear about the reproach from Lan Kairen and the other elders. Perhaps the rumors about the secluded Gusu leader are more true than fiction. This is not the first time Jiang Fingmian has known about cut sleeves, so it does not shock or disappoint him. In fact, based on his previous experience, he is more inclined to support Wei Wuxian. The part where Qinghang Jun mentions adopting Wei Wuxian makes his eyes bulge. His martial siblings have an equally extreme reaction. Now, wait a minute! I can't allow that! Wuxian belongs in the Jiang sect! Over my dead body! That child is the best archer I have ever had under my tutelage. How could he steal our head disciple? Maybe this is the plan all along. This engagement is only a ruse. Jiang Fengmian shakes his head out of his reverie and tries to bring order in their chaotic meeting. Calm down, Shimei. Let me finish. There's still a bit left. However, if you are likewise supportive of their relationship, I look forward to the unification of our respective sects. Moreover, I welcome the addition of organizers and event recommendations in planning their wedding. I look forward to your reply. Regards, then seal. Official sect leader Lan, XXXX, Gusu Lan sect, Gusu City, Zonghua. Jiang Fengmian turns to a junior disciple and says gravely, "Get me a paper and brush." Then he turns to his stunned martial siblings, who have never seen their sect leader look so resolute in his life, and says, "I will take care of this matter personally. You do not have to worry." All right, shixiong, we leave it up to you. Luckily, the lunch bell rings, and everyone except Jiang Fengmian exits the meeting room, whispering fervently among themselves. Once alone, Jiang Fengmian takes a deep breath and focuses on the task at hand. He accepts the writing materials and sends the disciple off. After picking his best scroll, he dips his brush in the ink bottle and pauses. He typically writes straight-to-the-point letters, lacking any form. Should he mimic how Qingheng Jun writes his letters? Come to think of it, this is the first time he has seen someone write a letter this way. He shakes his head. And no, he should just stick with his own writing. As Wei Wuxian's martial uncle first and the Yunmeng Jiang sect leader second, he has a reputation to uphold. To Qingheng Jun, thank you for your letter. I have received it. Indeed, the news of the engagement has reached Yunmeng. As head disciple, Wei Wuxian's martial uncle and the sect leader of Yunmeng Jiang, I am likewise supportive of the relationship between Wuxian and Lan Wangji. I am equally excited to do my part in the wedding preparations. As for the venue, if Wuxian and Lan Wangji ever decide on a summer wedding, I would suggest the Lotus Pier. It is a perfect combat to the summer heat. As for the food, I would suggest a mix of the couple's favorites. For your information, Wuxian enjoys any dish with our infamous Yunmeng peppers. I look forward to your opinions. Seal, sect leader Jiang Fengmian. He seals it and heads to the messenger quarters himself to personally send it off. Take this to Gusu at the fastest possible speed, he instructs. The messenger had just heard about the rumors of the Lan clan's plans of stealing their Wei Da Shixian. When he notices the serious countenance of his sect leader, he immediately understands that it's no rumor and the gravity of this life-or-death situation. The messenger austerely nods back, bows, and sets off. Meanwhile, Jiang Fengmian is unaware that he has fed the fires. All he cares about is his current correspondence with Qingheng Jun. The reply came in 2 weeks later. 12th of July, XXAD. Honorable sect leader, Jiang Fengmian. Yunmeng Jiang sect. Yunmeng City, Jiangsu. Greetings, sect leader Jiang. I am delighted to read about your reply. As long as we, the sect leaders, give our blessing, no one will dare question Wangji and Wei Wuxian's engagement. Likewise, I am glad to read your suggestions for the wedding celebration. I will take them into consideration. I agree that Lotus Pier is magnificent in the summer and will serve as a suitable venue for a summer wedding. However, I have to say that the cloud recesses is breathtaking during the winter. If the couple ever decides on a winter wedding, I suggest the cloud recesses. As for the food, your recommendation seems interesting. However, the palate of my clan concerns me. If the food we serve is of the spicy variety, I'm afraid they might chi deviate. I jest, of course, but the concern is valid. Instead, I suggest we serve food that both Wangji and Wei Wuxian would like, and also our clans. What do you think? I look forward to your reply. Regards, Seal, Official Sect Leader Lan, XXXX, Gusu Lan Sect, Gusu City, Zhanghua. Jiang Pingmian thinks this is reasonable, but feels like they are forgetting something important. He formulates his reply. To Qingheng Jun, you made valid and reasonable points. I will likewise take these into consideration. While I enjoyed our talk of preparations for their marriage, did Wuxian and Lan Wangji mention when they planned to celebrate their marriage? Seal, Sect Leader Jiang Pingmian. He hands over the letter with a frown. The messenger once again rushes into Gusu, feeling aggrieved in his heart on behalf of his Wei Dai Shixiong and the Jiang sect. 19th of July, XXAD. Honorable Sect Leader Jiang Pingmian. Yunmeng Jiang Sect, Yunmeng City, Zhanghua, greetings, Sect Leader Jiang. As for the timeline, I believe it is not in the immediate future. Unfortunately, I'm unable to confirm the exact date as I am in seclusion. When Wangji announced his betrothal to Wei Wuxian, there was so much commotion that the elders decided to send Wangji to me. Perhaps they thought I would be successful in dissuading my son. However, that is obviously not the case. I can see that Wangji deeply cares for Wei Wuxian. Likewise, I could clearly see how serious Wangji was when he planned to elope with Wei Wuxian if we denied their relationship our blessing. Curiously, when Wangji mentioned that he and Wei Wuxian would wed once the crisis has been averted. When I asked him about it, he did not elaborate. Do you have any idea what it was about? Regards, Seal, Official Sect Leader Lan, XXXX, Gusu Lan Sect, Gusu City, Zhanghua. Once the crisis has been averted, what crisis are those two talking about? He can only think of one thing. Jiang Pingmian sits down to write his reply. To Qingheng Jun, at this point, I can be certain that the children's crisis is this: their relationship as the number one gossip of the cultivation world. I am certain that if they are sincere with each other's feelings, they must hate the scrutiny and prefer to be left alone, to not be the subject of whispers. I feel for the children and their young love. Makes me want to protect them more. Seal, Sect Leader Jiang Pingmian. Jiang Pingmian notices that the recent letters have been arriving 1 week earlier than usual. His messenger must be overworking himself. He decides to give the poor kid a break. However, when he expresses this concern, his messenger firmly says, "Do not worry about me, Sect Leader. I will continue to do my duty, no matter what." If you are certain. 26th of July, XXAD. Honorable Sect Leader Jiang Pingmian, Yunmeng Jiang Sect, Yunmeng City, Zhanghua. Greetings, Sect Leader Jiang. I did not think of that. Perhaps your words are true. I feel for the children as well. Also, I was not aware that I am speaking to a fellow romantic. Alas, I am not one to speak, considering my reputation in my wives. Surely you know what I am talking about. Still, it is refreshing to meet a kindred spirit who values relationships and love over treasures and power. I am comforted to know that the cultivator who raised my son's fiancé is such a person. I welcome any future communication from your person regarding any matter, whether it is Wangji and Wuxian's wedding or a professional matter. Regards, Seal, Official Sect Leader Lan, XXXX. Gusu Lan Sect, Gusu City, Zhanghua. Jiang Pingmian smiles. Somehow, he finds an unlikely friend in Qinghengzhu. However, not even a week later, before he can write a reply, another letter arrives. 30th of July, XXAD. Honorable Sect Leader Jiang Pingmian, Yunmeng Jiang Sect, Yunmeng City, Zhanghua. Sect leader Jiang, I just witnessed something terrible. Lan Kairen and the clan elders finally allowed my request to see the children again today. I overheard Wuxian call Wangji Laner Gaga. I can't believe I just wrote those words down. I beg you not to ask me how I heard. I figure I had to share this with you. No words could describe how appalled I am. I am now regretting my decision to give Wangji his own place. Since there is only 1 week left, I recommend cutting their studies short. I am sending the children back over there. On my behalf, please, educate them. Thank you. Regards, Seal, official Gusu Lan sect leader, XXXX, Gusu Lan sect, Gusu City, Zhenghua. For a while, Jiang Fingmian stares into space in befuddlement. Then he calls a disciple and says, "They're coming back!" Okay. So, in the notes, they have, like, the guy walking in with the pizza, and then looking around like, oh my god. And then here's everything on fire. So him walking in is Jiang Fingmian joyfully planning Wangxian's wedding with King Qingheng looking around, and then his messenger's on fire, his Shidi's on fire, his Shimei is like doing CPR. So everyone around him is freaking out, which is amazing. Alternate chapter title. Canonically dead father figures of Wangxian get a second chance at not life, but wedding planning. Something tells me Qingheng specializes in modern formal letters, okay? Don't question it. I don't know anymore. This is just pure crack at this point, and we love it. Thank you, MandMandM, for writing this. But that is the end. I kind of love that being the end and us not really having like the wedding scene. I know it's still continuing. Like it's not a completed fic. But it's kind of a funny place if it just ends there. I kind of do though also want to see like Madame Yu's reaction to all this, but I am enjoying the canonical dead father figures enough to be contented. But yeah, that was The World is But a Stage for the Two of Us by MandMandM. The link is in the description. Go show the author some love. They definitely deserve it. And have an absolutely wonderful holiday season, or an absolutely wonderful day if you're watching this much later. And bye-bye.